Hello, sir. I'm
Yeah, hi.
Shashi, and we are further start our podcast session with Ratna Kumar Bonagiri. Hey, sir, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. So like 20 years before, almost 20 years before I completed my bachelor's in 2007 passed out. So after joining my company, I worked in HP, I told you. Started my previously they used to give the training for 3 months, right? Once my training is completed, I trained in have you guys heard about SAP? Still you might know about SAP, right? SAP, people say. You know SAP? Heard about it? Not much.
Not much.
Oh, SAP. So what? Maybe you guys talking about the AI era now, right? But SAP is like one of the still enterprise software, ERP, enterprise resource planning. If you have an organization or any big company, starting from the HR to the supply, finance, SDM missions, everything, any organization, if you want to have enterprise solutions, they use that software. Still, SAP is the top software to implement it. That is the only software where you can able to connect to multiple businesses. I will suggest if you are a student, first you maybe go about the top tech. Now, how you are talking about the Oracle is a database, right? Like SAP is the one of the top ERP product. At that time I was worked in the development part where you need to code, where you need to deploy. There, it's a core software technology, but the company doesn't need every whatever they have ready. You need to customize what they depends upon the business. In that part, I used to be a development. I work after the training 3 months. The recent started 2007 December. The recent was like at the peak. Then organizations will ask you to whether you want to be in this technology. The core survival thing, like college student I completed, they told me you need to be move to the different technology. In SAP itself, there are different modules they will say. One is of the administration, one is of the finance, like that, the core development. I was worked into the administration. If you administration is like SAP administration, more of installing the SAP software. When it's a big ERP software, I told you, right? You need to install in the servers and accessing giving to the users and upgrade more of operating system things we used to take care. I felt like, man, I was there in the development, why the hell they moved into the administration? But that really helped me because when I took the training in the development and moved to the administration part into this SAP, they call that module as SAP basis. That helped me because I have a good basic understanding about the development, and they moved into the administration. So when initial time I see when I monitor for every 2 hours, after few days I used to see the difference, man. Today that I when you keep on doing the same thing, you will find out the anomalies very good. So okay, after first 1 week they just asked me to monitor, I just monitor. Second week, man, I am monitoring, the monitoring part is done quickly. So what I can do, let's go into the deep. Okay, today's response time is so, what is the response time is changing? When you see the reads, why the reads are changed? Still I feel like with your career or anybody, if you want to learn anything, first you need to understand the monitoring. Other part, maybe in the other questions you might ask me, but I thought of one thing. Forums, have you heard about the forums? You know about the forums, right? When you have any question or doubt, you just post it. Most of in the IT or anywhere, you might not get every problem. You can't wait the, for example, you are doing something, you get a problem, so at the time you are searching for this one really tough, and most of the times you need to learn from the others mistake, you will say that. But in IT you can't go to the other, you can't talk to the all the people and what's happening in your core technology, for example SAP or DBA or as cloud anywhere. So my suggestion is you guys need to go to the forums every day, spend at least half an hour. That one actually, one of my mentor, the oldest guy, Ramesh, I still remember. It's like 18 years before. He used to say me. At the time, he was like a 7 or 8 years experienced guy. He used to say, Ratna, whenever you used to come to office, spend at least half an hour. Go to the forum, just read. If somebody is posting, I'm not able to understood, I'm not able to do this, they have the problem. Go through it. Try to when you go through the multiple problems, right? In somehow when you are doing your activity, you try to overcome them and try to be cautious, not do those things. That really. So I worked there for some years in HP. Then afterwards I moved to Infosys. You might know about Infosys. I worked there for 5 years in SAP. The same technology I worked in SAP, but A little more responsibility. I moved as a team lead, and I used to have like a three or four people I need to work on with the team. I worked there for 4 years. From there only, I moved to US. In Infosys, actually, I will say I worked on a very good project called Novartis. We need to migrate around 50 clusters. You might know about the clusters, right? 50 clusters in 1.5 year. But wa- there I learned good thing. I worked with the Switzerland people. My client is with the Switzerland. Those team people, man. I heard when you have when you have a issue, they used to sit like 7 hours. They sit and they will try to finish it up until then. I learned that when the ownership part, I learned a lot there. And I found when you take the ownership, then only you learn. If you have an issue sometime because of your teammate or else because of your thing mistake, you did bad or something like the mistake, overcome, you got a mistake. But when you take the ownership and responsible, then you will learn like crazily. Think about your teammate did something. You say that okay, this is done by my teammate. So you just send a mail. So hello, sir. What is your sorry, Shreya? Yesterday when I'm monitoring, I found the issue. Can you please look into it? Done. You think that I had an issue, we have worked on it. When you say I am working on it, then you will say that okay, every small thing you will start looking, understanding it, why it's happening. You go to the core. And one more other thing, people will see that when you got an issue, man, unnecessarily why I'm getting the issues, how much, whatever the amount you learn in during the issues, you can't learn for 1 month or 2 months or 1 year. Sometimes when the boat is sailing normally, you don't learn anything, right? The tides are normal. When the tides are not good, then only you really understand the sailing, right? The same way, you have to okay with the problems and take the ownership. I feel like that. When you take the ownership, then only will go under people will throw you under the bus. You have to understand in IT because everybody they don't want to be take the responsibility. But initial time I say people, your managers or else all the reporting people, they will see if somebody throwing the bus. And most of the times you don't need to find the solution for everything. The approach will be more than efficient. But when you start approaching to towards the solution, you are trying different ways, you will people will understand you. Most of the times in organizations, they will not see like a how complex project you worked on, like how many people you are trained them, and they don't care about it. Mostly they'll say approach to the solution. And other big part is the problems, most of the times you don't find, you already have seen them. So how confidently you are trying to accept the problem. First thing is you need to accept the issue. And how you are trying to, in pressure times, you might heard about the Amazon, right? Amazon interview, you might know it or not. They will do 8 rounds within 3 hours continuously. They can do it like a shift to eight different days, right? Why they want to take like a 6 or 7, I think 6 interviews on the continuously within 6 hours they will complete. Why? Because they want to see how well you are working during the pressure. They don't need the solution. Because sometimes when you had an issue in them, I remember, man, forget when I work in Infosys, you about the tar, right? Zipping, about the zip file. The zip, right? When you right click and zip a file. The same way one guy mistakenly tar the database. Instead of running in the some other file, he mistakenly give the different path. He tar entire database on before the 2 days before the Christmas. Because of this one, the guys, everybody in their organization, around 40 or 50, from his level to the senior level, everybody worked. I felt like my next day they will be firing me, but they didn't, because they know that he didn't do first thing. He When the mistake happened, he accepted it. Other important thing, Shreya, I thought of saying maybe in the middle you might touch this part. What are the things you nearly make you to be a leader, right? First, accept the mistake. Second one is communicate. When you have a mistake, communicate it. And other thing is mentoring. Treat your team when you work for 8 hours or 9 hours, 2 days when you work, right? Treat your friends or your what do you call reporting people, right? When your mentors, they might be getting angry or anything, it's okay. But your point of view, you should be trying wherever you are, try to learn what are the new things you are doing it. That's what you need to be in. After that, I joined in Macy's from Infosys. There, luckily, when I told you I worked in Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola from Coca-Cola, I worked in Atlanta, Coca-Cola. Then I moved from Coca-Cola to Macy's. Macy's is one of the biggest retail company. Like you heard about Macy's? You know about?
Yes, sir.
It's like you know about Macy's, right? Macy's is like you are in India. I can say shopper stop or the type of, we have around 100 stores in around 300 or 400 stores in entire US. You can say Macy's is the to go shop for clothes. And this is maybe you know at the graduation, right? Graduation or prom, if any students or anyone, their first shopping place is like Macy's. Yeah. You can talk to any of the US any of the people from the US, they'll say that, where do you buy your first suit? They'll say Macy's. Their graduation or anything. Yeah. After moving here, I worked the technology I told you, right? I worked there for 10, 12 years in some technology. After 12th year, we want to implement some SAP, but they didn't succeed well. And my manager told me that is not going well. Can you be there with a different technology? I told him it's okay because he saw when we are working with the past experience, he saw the how I'm approaching to the problems when you're how you are taking the new things, everything. So he like, man, I'm okay to the I don't worry about what technology you worked on, but I want you to be there because the technology changes, it evolve. Tomorrow, today you are talking about one thing. Maybe you guys know about a lot. Today you guys are talking about the few years before cloud. Now you guys are talking about AI. Tomorrow comes different. But the only thing what constant from you is how eager to learn the new thing, how you are approaching towards the problem. Those things only stay. Yeah. Any questions from there?
No, sir. You explain very well to the all the questions about the things, so I don't cross questioning about these things.
Yeah. That's where my career started. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, so can you explain the that point of particularly change your properly life into to that field like right now you are working at that particular point?
There will be no one point. Yeah. I went
Okay.
with the flow. Frankly speaking, I don't want to be lie to you. I went with the flow. But when you are getting the opportunities, right, the decisions, how you are taking. Let me tell you, I can tell you in Infosys, right? When I got an opportunity to, I need to choose one project among two. One is very calm project that is near to my home. The other one I told you, right? 50 clusters migrating to new data center within the 1 year. The other migration part, the project is very nice, but I need to travel 30 miles from my where I'm
Oh
staying.
my god.
Yeah, actually, when they took the interview for me to Infosys, actually, why I choose the Infosys is at that time I got one or two companies, Infosys and IBM, other companies. That's which my when I spoke to my manager, you gave me the in Infosys have a multiple campuses. When I took the interview, I didn't know that they have a campus there, so I interviewed in. I told me I'm staying, coming there. My director, the entire SAP head, told me, no man, I chose you to go to that office. I was have a big fight with them. No, I came here to Hyderabad to go into choose this campus because it's near to my home. I want to be here only. Then that guy came to me. Ratna, I'm okay to give you a easy I have two things. The project which I'm going, if you want to stay near to our home and that campus where everybody is there, there's a normal one. I have a very good project there, 50 migrations. If you want to go there, you need to travel. Still feel like I took that decision made me a lot because when I was the guy who took that project, he didn't get the first thing on site. That's a very normal one. When I worked at 50 migration projects, the amount of stress I felt like very good, that very bad. First of all, you feel like, man, why the hell I choose it? But after 1.5 year, when I worked in that project, the experience I got, it is beyond. When you are migrating 50 different things, when 50 different approaches, every week, every 2 weeks, I used to get a new issue. If I'll be in the other project, maybe in a month or 2 months, you will see that issues. First thing you need to learn, the good part, you need to learn from others mistakes, that is good. But here there I don't need to learn from other mistakes. The project itself like entirely complex. We're migrating from Windows to Linux, like a multi node thing, where you have we implemented the DR solution, we implemented the high availability, and we upgrade the DB SAP to the very latest version. And at the time I was got a good contact to, I told you every week we used to have an issue. And because of that one, they're able to reach out to the SAP vendor directly. So every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we have a direct call with the entire SAP team. They are also very happy because the version they are going to is a very latest version. They're happy. When we are keep on asking the questions, then they need some guinea pigs. So luckily we are the guinea pigs who working on these things. So they when you are approaching them, they should say, this is the problem, let's try to do this. That was the very that moment was very great for me. I would have chosen the other project. I might not be in the US because after the migration is completed, my SAP had asked me, "What do you want?" I told him that I want to go to the onset. I told the mentors are really, really great in my life. They made my life. I asked them I want to go to onset. I didn't know it. Think about we have 4 years of 5 years experience. Now you guys internet about the US, America. At the time going to onset, it's a big thing for us. Then that guy told me, no, you go to the US. This project is very nice. I will recommend you. Yes. That
Oh,
changing this project that helped me a lot in my career, in my experience, learning, everything. I will say when you, with your current life also, when you have some tough decisions, take the tough one. It's okay. In the early career, if you are be soft and you feel very bad because when your life is very comfortable, in the initial in your any part of initial time, initial career time, right? You take the if you take the tough decisions, it will be like you will be happy with the when you go with the next in the you have to start taking the tough decisions to go into the next level. If you just take that habit, or else you will be learn that in a very bad way. You might know in with now with the technology, with the 5 years experience get the 5 lakhs, and 10 years experience get the 20 lakhs. But the same I know some of my friends still their package was like a 6 or 8 or 10. I know few people who change the organizations within few months and the projects because of that one. Their package went to like a 70, 80. It's all about how you are approaching towards the challenge. The people will see that one.
so how
Yeah.
it's to be possible to be when people are give their experience 10 year, 20 year, and some people are give only 2 year, and their package should be higher than the expected.
Yeah, I tell you one thing. I tell you, have you heard about it? When you are with the 10-year experience guy, when you work for 1 year, you will get half of the experience. Have you heard this term? You be with a higher experience guy. For example, you work with 20-year experience person for 2 years, and working with means like if I give you okay, Shreya, just write an email. No, if I ask you write an email, Ratna, can you please tell me why you are writing? If you are like eagerness to learn with that guy, within 5 years, I will say within 2 3 years experience, you will be getting the my experience because my 10 years experience when I be with you, when I work with you, I will be behaving like a 10 years experience guy. Yes, right. So you will understand how I'm approaching to the problem, how I'm talking to the people, and how I'm taking the decision. Those things you will learn with the experienced person. And I told you, right, when you are in the normal one, think about you are going from your home to the office, school. Every day for 1 year you are going. There is no problem. Think about you from your home to, you are coming to US directly, not US or some other place. You never went there. When you travel that path, you need to go, you need to check the different things. You need to take care of, man, what the surroundings are there. You come up with a lot of different things, right? In this 2 3 days journey, what you learn, can you able to experience the experience when you go from your home to the same place where you are going every day for 2 years? It's different, right? Within 1 day you might have experience like your entire 1 year or 2 year experience. That is what happens with your you told me, right, how your 10-year experience guy, 1 year 2 year experience guy become 10 years.
Okay,
There lies the biggest difference.
I
I know
understand.
one of the team, when we migrated to SAP migration project, right, there's 7 years experience. We got the freshers team, like 3 members. You believe it or not, those 3 people were sent to the same onset after within one. I came to US, right, within after completing the project 3 years. Maybe at that time I was 6 years experience. I moved to US. That girl, after working our project in within 1 year, she moved to the onset because within 3 years, what I learned, she learned the same thing. With the 7 years experience, what I understood, what are the things, what the problem I have seen, within 1.5 year experience, she saw everything. That is that's what I told you. When you have a tough project, when you got a problems, you should be very, very happy. You should be happy. In the initial feel like you reluctance. Every person is a reluctance to, man, my comfort life is going. But no, I feel like when you start taking that risk. I'm not saying that just कूद में don't कूद क्या है don't jump into the well, but when you want to learn swimming, you need to swim. You need to when you आप बाहर रख के मुझे स्विमिंग की पढ़ाई बहुत पढ़ा है आपने देखा हाथ रखना है पैर छूना है ये सब करने से पढ़ने से कुछ नहीं मिलेगा ना when you're going to the deep into the water then only you know the swimming that is what happens yeah
Okay, sir.
so mentorship we go take the problems and when you work under the very experienced people you will really help a lot but you might see the like हिचकी रहता है ना they have their own everybody comes with their own thing for example I have a habit of doing when I ask the questions so you should be patient you will get it yeah
Right, sir. Let's be, sir. Technology is evolving rapidly with AI, clouding computing, and data driven discussion making. Which emerging technology do you believe will have the greatest impact on the future and retail and customers' experiences?
okay you can't say which one here actually cloud made our retail companies life like so good you know about the Amazon Macy's is like Amazon before cloud came if you want to procure no you know about Amazon sale day in a year I have 4 sale days
Yes,
when
sir.
we don't have this yeah when we don't have this cloud if you want to procure a server it take like a 1 month or anything and we need to keep those servers very long time think about I work for I told you right in Macy's the amount of reads we see during the Thanksgiving is per second 200k reads. Like I can say 200k means how much? Nearly 2 lakhs reads per second into the server. 2 lakhs reads per second, we get the traffic. In the normal time, we just get only 50k,
That much
50k, 40k. It's like how many times? Like 8 times, right?
it tends.
8 times to 4 times per second. I can't procure the server and keep the server for entire 1 year. Doesn't make sense to me. Previously, when they don't have the cloud, we need to reach out to the people, get the server. We need to prepare for 1 month. We need to bring. It's not like getting the server directly, right? Just cutting and pasting. You need to keep the server. You need to keep this on network. You need to do all the prerequisites, and you need to install the software. And in the software, it's not about the procuring the server. The maintenance part is the biggest thing. Once you get the VM or else a cloud server, it is not done with the day. On that, from that day onwards, you need to do the patching. Make sure that none of the vulnerabilities are entering it. Security patching, all the validations. Whether you use it or not, we need to do all the things. Use our karna padta tha. Because of the cloud, now thanks you know about the Thanksgiving, right? Maybe you might heard about people used to give the gifts. I'm talking about the traffic, more traffic during that time on. So during the Thanksgiving, now we just like before 3 days, maybe not 3 days, I will say just before 10 days we procure the server. After the peak was done, after the 10 days we'll remove it. How much money we save. Previously we used to we can't take the risk, right? So we used to procure the server like 2 months before. We kept the server, we do all the things. We never know, maybe all of the sudden the traffic might increase. We used to be there until January third week or fourth week to decommission them. Now because the cloud, I'm getting the servers in like 2 weeks. I'm bringing everything after the high sale day done. Within 4 5 days we are scaling down. I'm doing the scale down for the DB at least 20 days. You know about the Kubernetes, right? Most of the applications are in the Kubernetes pods. They're scaling down within the 3 days itself. You are getting this type of scale up, scale down thing because of the cloud. If you don't have the cloud, organizations used to sell that is for me, I will say cloud helped you guys a lot, I feel. Why? Because when I was like a student or else in the initial time, if you want to procure a server, I need to pay a lot and I don't have an opportunity where I need to get the server. Most of the softwares, if you want to install and if you want to test it, you need a server. You can't install in your laptop, right? And your laptop will not able to handle this much big RAM and anything. Now, because of this cloud, from sitting in your home, you just go to the cloud.google.com or aws.com. You have a free credits. Go and procure a server. You can install anything. And these people nowadays, you can have a 10 email IDs, go and do the basic testing, and if you're done, scrap it and do it and get the new one. That I feel like cloud made you guys like so crazily helpful. most of the opens, and now because of the cloud open source products also, if I want to explore, if I want to test it whether that is really working on it, I don't need to rely on some other person. I can directly procure the server and install it, validate, test it, and if it is not working, crash, destroy it, done. And you are talking about the AI, right? It is like an enhancement. For cloud, it is like AI make you life much more easier and make it more complex also. I see when you go to the YouTube, when you talk first, when you I thought of telling you in the initial time, when you hear about the buzzwords, don't be don't think like man, it's totally crazy. For example, if you talk about cloud, you don't learn entire cloud. You don't know about don't need to know entire cloud. You don't need to know about entire AI. First, if you get a new mobile, what do you do? First thing, you need to know the first thing what you need to how to log in, how to scroll, the basic thing you need to understand.
Basic
First,
things to
start from the yeah. So what I'm saying is when you hear about the any of the new technology or anything, start from the top. First, you understand the breadth, what it really does. Then you know why it is doing, how it can able to, how we can able to implement that. Yeah, you might hear like a thousands of things. You think every organization who is talking about the AI, they know about the go to the transitions, all those things. They nobody understand, right? They first know okay how it is useful. Then afterwards you're the agent in the MCP. So just go layer by layer. Maybe I feel like my point of view go from the top to the bottom. You just understand the what really helps you. Then afterwards how it is able to made it, how it can be useful for you, and from there you go into the. And one more important thing, maybe I didn't tell you or not, technology evolves every day. You might heard it or not. What technology changed in last 100 years, it changed in 6 months. From January to June, the technology changed is like a equal to 100 years past changes. So if you worry about man, this thing 6 months, if a lot of things are changed, I'm missing a lot. No. When and other part, if you about the cloud, right? You ask me about the cloud. When you go to the cloud also, still there you need to install the VM. You can't keep the server now. It's not new thing. Your just platform is changing. Still, those nomenclatures you can learn quickly, but you need to understand the basics a lot. Think about your AI. Once the AI comes, it will help you to okay, you find the solution, find the mistake and everything. But who has to find where you are finding the mistake? In a DB, in an application. Still, after going to that, who has to change those things? You need to. If AI giving that answer, you need to understand well enough to implement that one, right? So for students or anyone, what I will suggest you is learn one technology. You should be like from the top to bottom, understand each and every nomenclature. If you understand one technology, like if you think about the OS or else database or else Linux servers or else programming, think if you talk about the programming, if you know about the nuances like a basic nomenclature, if you understand each and every, talk about the for loops, if loop, like a data structure, everything is once you know a lot in this. If you move from Python, Java, Go, doesn't make any difference for you, right? If you understand about the database principles, what is cap theorem, what is the rdbms, you know each and every part. Like you spend like 1 year or like 1.5 year, go to each and every, if you like some topic, pick the topic, spend like a 10 minutes a day, just go what's new in this one, let me go in deeper. Previously you need to read about a lot of books, now you don't need. Now this AI ChatGPT, they beyond, they come to you and giving it for free. Just you need to have a patience and interest. If you have these two, you can. For the technology, when it is changing a lot, try to go with, pick a topic, go in depth of that one. Then the other things they will go and flow. I told you right when you talk about the cloud. Cloud is a very big term, but in now you might know it. In cloud you need to procure the server. Cloud you need to know about the networking. If you have a very good understanding network, people thought like DevOps is a great thing, but still they need to reach out to the networking people. They still the DevOps procure the server, but still you need to do the all the shell scripting. You need to do the Linux administration. Everything is done with the core concept we understand about the OS things. And the for example in cloud you can procure a Cloud SQL or MySQL or Postgres, anything within minute. After procuring it, who will work on the DB as a database admin, right? You need to know at the database that the button clicks will be done in 5 minutes. You can learn in maybe 1 hour, or at least you can spend like 2 days, 3 days. You can learn it. After the butter clicks are done, the core thing comes back to the same. That was the reason still I'm working. If the change technology is changing, if the new one is there, they don't need us, right? People are saying that okay, in 1 minute I can procure the server. In 2 minutes I can get the DB. After getting the DB, what you will do? You need to load the data. You need to tune the database. You need to make sure that everything is working or not. You need to scheduling, backup, all these things, right? This will be the core concept will never change. But if you are not comfortable in the core technology, if you are not that good at core competence, if the other things outer shell is changing, you will not be comfortable anywhere, because outer shell always changes. Today you are talking about the few years before you talk about the cloud. Now you are talking about the air. After few years you might talk about the robotics. So whatever the things they will, at the end of the time they need to store somewhere. At the end of the time somebody has to write the application. At the end of the day everybody has to use it. So these three things will never change, but take one part and try to understand. Deep learning, spend, like I told you right in the initial time, first spend 10 to 15 minutes in the forums and try to choose one technology, go in depth. AI also, the back end is uses the database RAG. You might have heard about, right? RAG database, retrieval augmented generation, RAG. It is also database. It will also if you go in depth, it will go back to the database only. And if you go in depth, RAG, after getting the agents, they need to communicate between everything. They will also networking. So understand, take one topic, go in depth, it will help you. Because technology change now. I told you, now you're talking about in retail, right? In retail space, maybe I deviated from the topic. In retail space, how the AI we implement, like now when the cloud implemented, it helped us. Now we're using the ask agents. You might know about the ask agent. I can directly ask my in message and go there. I have a white shirt which can be paid with one. Those type of implementations, when the new technology comes, we try to implement it. Those things, it is in retail, cloud and AI help us a lot. I told you scale up and scale down. Previously used to do the manual script. We used to think about when we need to scale up, when we need to scale. Now because of the AI, it automatically it get the data, entire data in the system. It will know about, okay, in this time, if these 5 or 6 things will becomes, okay, for example, now it's a June 20th, July 5th is the time. Before July 5th, everybody will go and purchase the shoes or something like that. Let's better whether I have the shoes, everything or not. It will check, validate the internal validations. Those things are really helping us to after getting the AI. It is making life easier, but it has a human touch too. We can't give every decision to the AI, right? Still, it's not a human. The decision has to be taken by us. Yeah. Okay. Maybe multiple questions I included in this. I'm not sure, but yeah, any of the things
Yeah,
missing, you
you
can.
answered the multiple questions which I asked you with you at but you answer at in one question. Like I asked in starting to introduce yourself, you guide me how to be get market and how to be get implement our career. And I asked some another question about the AI clouding. You answer it very in a good way. How could I
Yeah,
should be?
maybe. Yeah, it's okay. Maybe it's useful for not, because when I go to the questions, I feel like more of yeah, question. When I have interaction, that'd be much better. I felt, yeah. If it is helpful for you, I'm really happy. If it is helping you,
Yeah,
yes.
of course, sir. It's very helpful to us, and it could be work for also to me and to everybody who listen this podcast session. Okay, sir. That's I have asked to be your last one. Many students are overwhelmed by countless programming languages, framework, and AI tools. If you were starting your career today, what would be your first focus, and how could it work?
I told you, right, when you have about the programming languages change, evolve a lot.
Hmm.
Go into the basics, Shreya. I will
Likewise, sir.
still say that if you learn about the Python, just take. It's not about when the multiple programs are programming languages are coming. Choose one programming. For example, think about the Python. You might know it or not. You know, you might in engineering you might learn about C and C++. You still feel like nobody worked on the C++, right? Do you still feel like that? Nobody used the C++ at all in your
No,
thought
I did
process?
not feel that. No, I could
You
not
know,
that. No, I could not feel that because C and C plus is the basics of the language of programming, and it will
Yes.
be working still some functions there. So where we need to be help in C and C plus plus, and also
No, actually, you are still thinking that that is the understanding, so it will be useful for the other one. You believe it or not, most of the secure databases are made in C. They will they will make the software, entire database software in C, C++. Java is not the one. People think about Java is more. Java is very good in the application softwares. If you go into the core, all the chips like microchips, everything, right? They're still programmed in C. I'm talking about the Cassandra is a NoSQL. Maybe if you say NoSQL's king database is like a Cassandra, that Cassandra still uses the C because Java, what happened? Heap, you know about the heap memory issues, right? Java has a heap problems, and C++, you can what do you call? You can tune the memory so good. And aeroplane tech, you know about the aeronautical engineering, right? Their entire module is coded in the C++ still. Your thought process is like it will be you. The core understanding is very good for me. So Python and every all these other technologies used everywhere. They don't have this much of capability. They don't need that complexity. That was the reason nobody uses it. Still, if you talk about the core software building, database, I talked about entire database. Maybe you understood what is the meaning of that. You know about the Oracle, right? The same way Cassandra or its Cockroach DB, there's databases. They made the software that those database in program. They program this database in C, C++. So what I'm trying to say is choose one database. Maybe I can say instead of C++, go with the Python, go in depth, whatever able. It's not about logical reasoning. Logical people have a very normal, they don't care about the logic, but most of the times you need the logic. As a programmer, you need to have the logical reasoning. And today, if you're able to code something maybe in 100 lines or 200 lines, you need to compete yourself saying that, okay, out of 100 lines, how can I maybe reduce it to the 50 lines? First, you try to reduce the line. And most importantly, execution time. So you just take any simple example, execution. Previously, for example, if I want just create a one sample, easy program like log into the students portal or anything. So what are the things you are giving? So how fast retrieval you are able to, response time, how you are improving it, and number of lines you are reducing, and reusable. If you write some code, how you can repurpose this one. Now entire world is working on the repurpose. You whatever you make, you should be able to deliver it to the other people. So you can packaging, how you are able to package your application, so that when you know how to make the packaging thing, so you try to do everything within your program, so that lot of complex things you can able to complete it. So and luckily Python have the UI. You can in Java you need other jQuery and other things you need to learn to make it the UI. In Python you can do the what do you call UI, you can build it. You can store the things in the basic storage. And Python previously used to have Oracle. You don't need the Oracle or anywhere now. You have the free softwares like MySQL. It's a free open source. You can create a small database in your laptop, and with a Python program, you can. I will ask you to go with one technology, one programming level. Go in depth. Whatever you choose, try. Today I'm talking about the Python. Tomorrow, some of your friend comes and say that, hey man, Go is a very latest language. Everybody's talking about. Let's go to the Go. First you know the basics. For you, if you know everything about the programming, but in Python perspective, it will take like a 5 minutes for you to, maybe in a day. You know about, I told you about Amazon, right? Amazon in interview, they don't ask a single question about the AWS. In Amazon interview, in AWS interview, AWS is an Amazon Web Service, right? Like Google Cloud, it's one of the biggest world's number one cloud provider, right? When you go for the AWS interview, they will ask you about the basics only. What they think that if you know any one of the cloud, I'm okay. I can teach you the cloud, but I can't teach you the basics for their point of view, because they can teach you how to click the button, how to navigate, but they can't teach you what is the database principle, how the data is stored, how the pages, how the swap space is managed. Those things they can't teach you. They can teach, but they can't make you from zero to that. They know that the cloud part can be taught to anyone, but they can't teach the basics. So what I'm, maybe just search in the Google in AWS interview, they don't care whether you know about the cloud or not. I know one of my friend, he never worked in the cloud at all. He's a programming. After getting the job for 2 months, they will go to that some training shop, workshop. They will go and learn. They're okay with that, but they need the people who have a core concepts, understanding of the core knowledge. Yeah, maybe you get it or not. Maybe yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
trying to.
I some little bit get it, because when we personally work on that topic, we will understand what we learn at that time. And if I could listen things and could not be implement the things, it could not help me to how to be get it. So when I implement that things, it should be helpful to me and others also.
And don't switch to the different technologies. What I'm saying is that when you choose one programming, technology is different, but within the same technology, somebody is talking about today Python, tomorrow somebody talk about Java, after somebody talk about the Go, different languages. But all the core languages have the same thing, right? First, try to pick one, understand in depth, then move to the next one. When you're moving, if you know everything in depth on first one, the second one will be become easy because they will. It is just like a nomenclature. You are not changing there. The essence will be the same. The only things is like what you can say. It is like more of you ride a bike, one bike, you move to a different bike. The buttons will change, but the balancing part will be you need to know, right? The same
Yeah,
thing. That's the
yeah,
only difference. You will be overwhelmed with no. I learned the bike, so I can. It will. You think that if you know learn bike in one bike, if you go to the different Harley Davidson, it will be little complex, but it will not tough for you, right? Because if you know the good first part is you balancing. You know the balancing how to go. Then your switching will not. Switching will take time, but the guy who learn. If you think about if you started balancing here before getting the balance, you just move to the Harley Davidson. It will be more tough. You will be. My worry was you need to start from the scratch. If you know every in depth on the first one, the second will become easy. You didn't learn everything or like a most what are the in depth knowledge on the first one. If you moved the second one, you need to start from the scratch. If you have somebody take you, if I want now anybody whom they will hire you or else anybody will be giving an importance. If you need to have the conference on at least one of them, right? That is what.
so I am curious about one question. You
Yeah.
said about that Amazon sales. So how the sales is working in Amazon field? Like
Huh?
four time you said कि Amazon give us sale part. It give us sales. Like Amazon app give us sales part. It give us like summer sale, Diwali sale, and that. So how it should be worked? Like I want to curious about how it to be functionals. How
How do they choose the time?
huh?
Okay, when they want to give the sales, when they
No,
want to choose this.
no. I don't want to be know about the time. I want to be know how it could be functioning. Like sales is on and how it could be work.
Oh, okay. If you think that okay, July 4th, maybe Dasara, Diwali, they kept a sale. During the sale, how they're able to, how well they're prepared. You're talking about how
Yeah.
they're able to prepare. I
Huh.
told you right when during the previously when they don't have the cloud, you need to okay. There's four layers. Okay, whenever you talk about the retail or anywhere, first any user comes into the DB. Anywhere when you send like I click on Amazon, Amazon.com. First, when you click on the Amazon.com, it will go to the first we'll go to the where it has to go. First part is DNS. When you click on Amazon.com, it will not Amazon.com, right? In the background, there will be some IP. Have you heard about the DNS? In any public, anywhere, 100% in other, what do you call available, you know about the availability, right? Any cloud or anything, they will say that 99.99% is available. At any point of time, it will never down. Like 99.19, 99.99, 99.49. But AW when you talk DNS, they will make sure that 100% is available anytime. When you click on, they will go in the Amazon.com will be routed to one of the IP address. It will go after that one. When your request comes from India, when the request is comes from India, there is a topmost call load balancer. In load balancer, it will direct you. Your request from Sonakshi is pinging from Hyderabad. So what is the nearest server? Go to that part. Load balancer will redirect the user to the nearest place so that your response will be quicker. The same way, for example, I will be in Hyderabad, in Hyderabad. So what is the nearest data? Not like Hyderabad and Mumbai. Let's talk about the different. You know about the data centers, right? AWS data centers, Amazon data centers. In the different places where their data center will reside. Depends upon the user traffic, it will redirect your traffic to the data center. After getting the request, it will go to the application. You are looking for shirt, pant, or, and you might not see, whenever you click on the Amazon.com, that will be very quick. After clicking the product, it might take a little microsecond delay. Have you ever observed? The first page was so quick, right? The next pages will not that quick as faster as the first page. Have you observed why? Because they will call as CDN, content delivery network. What they will do is there are like a lot of companies. They will keep the static content across entire world. They have AWS has maybe data centers in 20 or 30 places. Google has data centers maybe 20 or 30 places. But still, I will not. All the companies are not spend that much money in each and every. If AWS, think about you are from Hyderabad. Most of the people are shopping. AWS can be used in Africa. AWS can be used in some other remote village. But your response will be quick. Why? Because they have a nearest data center. They can't build a one more data center near to their place, right? Depends upon the user traffic. They will build the servers. And I told you about content data. Content data network is a CDN. They will say the static content. Every company will buy one space. Anybody, this they will keep that space. They will buy, for example, maybe 100 GB or 10 GB. They will buy the 10 GB. This 10 GB is replicated on these 1,000 data centers. When you click on Amazon, boom, it will come like a within microsecond. When you go to the navigations, like a buy, add to the cart, pay, these things will take time because that is a variable content. Content will be customized to you. But whereas the starting AWS.com, that is no left side panel, right side panel, what is the image on the front page, the bottom page, those is static. Those static content and static images is content, they will send it to the CDN and they will distribute across the entire CDNs. Are, maybe you might understand, CDNs are multiple data center. The data is there. In other, that your application database, application data centers, the data is changed. When the data is static, those things will normally suggest you to keep it in the these CDNs. When the request comes, mostly now everybody uses the, when your request comes, it will go to the application. The application normally they will run in Kubernetes pods. Depends. There will be each and you might think that entire application, for example, Macy's.com or Amazon.com, entire application is written into one Java code. No, they will create each and every part. Checkout, one application. Add to bag, one application. Display the items, one application part. Your user customization, for example, you might be share. So when you user customization is the biggest AI thing where everybody is using it. So depends upon your purchases and everything, they will say, okay, Shreyas want to buy something, let me show the things whatever you like. Mostly today you bought the red shirt, so they think that okay, the AI know that okay, if she bought the red shirt, the combination for black pant might be best sell for me, so they will try to customize. They will be in a separate application. All these applications, they will independently work. Why? Because if they have implemented everything in one application, if you have a problem, what will happen? Entire application will be crashed, right? Then none of the logic will work. So they will make the .com or any website into multiple small parts, and they will mix everything when the user request comes. Once the request comes, that is your application. After the request comes, the next part is of the database. When you ask something, when you buy today, you bought it. When you can't store everything in your application, right? Tomorrow, if you go back and say the application doesn't have the memory or anything, they have a static memory, but doesn't have the permanent memory. When you restart application, when you are scaling up, scale down, you will lose the data. So they will store the data into the database. There are multiple databases. They will say that non-SQL databases and SQL databases. SQL database is more of you are writing something. It has to be more of transactions. Transaction database, normally you will use the SQL database, RDBMS. When you need some data, you don't need the authenticity. You don't need like accuracy. For example, if you click on now, I want a white shirt. If a white shirt, if you want to search, you don't need the, if for example, you have 1,000 rows, you don't need to display 1,000 rows at a time, right? You will say, you will scroll down, five. If you are missing one row, that doesn't matter for them. They don't need the accurate data, but they need the quicker. In that way, they will choose the database like that. Maybe
Okay.
it's like overwhelming. This might be overwhelming for you. Maybe you just try to learn about, understand. I told you about the CDN, right? Try to maybe go to the high level. What is the CDN? You can check. What is the application Kubernetes, where you will be containerizing the application. You learn about it, and SQL, NoSQL, transactional, non-transactional. These things you will try to understand. You will get a overall picture what I'm talking about.
Okay, sir. I understand some things about you explaining.
What something's about?
I understand little by things you explain the whole parts, what could be it work and how it should be work in the functioning about.
Yes. Now my question is, when you don't understand where to understand, try to note it down. Don't kill your enthusiastic curiosity. Curiosity is the only thing will make it learn. Today I just talk. Maybe in vague you might say something. Now you don't need to hear what I said. Just go to the Google and Chat GPT and ask. He asked me about Macy's.com about the CD and non-SQL. SQL. If you vaguely, if you question it, it will give you explain. But I want you to, when you have a 1.5 hour discussion or 1 hour discussion, you might get something. Try to don't stop here, learn it. You might know think, hey, why the hell it will be useful for my career. No, you might know anywhere. Now the technology is become like a cross technology, cross functional. If you want to be in a managerial part or else HR anywhere also, still you need to understand there is no single. Now you might know it in medical field, people, a lot of technology people are working in medical fields, a lot of MBA graduates are working. No, all the tech, all the jobs are cross technology and cross functional. Yeah.
That's a very grateful to you, sir. That very thank you so much to be came here and give us some knowledge about that field and also the how it's to be worked. Thank you so much, Ratan sir, to joining
And one more
today.
thing I forgot to ask you, you after this one, any of the other things are happening? You guys have a hackathon too? Hacker Unity, Hackers Unity, that's what I see, the pay. What is you guys have a hacker too? Hackathon too?
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. So I can be a judge for this one. I have requested send an email, I believe. Maybe for the
Okay, sir.
Hackers
I will
University.
provide you the email ID. You will send your profile. We will be reach you when we conduct the hackathons at that time.
Sure. So you get what are the really needed. Maybe I didn't wasted your 1 hour, right?
No, sir, it could not be wasted my 1 hour. It is very incredible to me that I can hear you and I could ask my some questions to you. That is a very big opportunity to someone to ask their own questions to be a guest mentor. And if you are working at that field or you want to be get go on that field, it is very important to anyone that you understand what I am
Yeah, you
exactly.
can get the yes, when you talk to the multi people, you get the experience. Then from there you can take whatever you like it, but still you need to find a different approaches, what they have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
ultimately
very
it's your decision. Yes, yeah.
yeah.
I'm really happy. We don't get this type of opportunity. We don't know these type of things exist when we're initial career. Maybe the technology helped me a lot. Yeah.
Ratan sir, thank you so much to joining us today and share your incredible journey, valuable experiences, and practical insight. Your thoughts are engineering, leadership, innovation, and continuous learning will surely inspire students and professionals alike to be. Thank you very much again, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye.
Okay, so